Thanks so much for joining us here on another First Look seminar. I am Gino Bacola alongside Scatoni, Sure Shot, Frank Scatoni, and Seminar Skip over there. Hopefully some of you just cashed that pick six. It was a pretty formful pick six, but still paid like $6,700. Pretty nice. So what happens when there's a carryover or a double carryover like we had going into the Friday card. But for us, our focus is going to be Saturday and the late pick five sequence. We also have the spirit of Chappie joining us, still working out some technical difficulties over there, but he may pop in and out. There he is. Hey, there he is. Woo! Chappie. And Chappie, he's excited because next week is Big Cap Day. Next week is going to be one of the biggest days of the meet at Santa Anita. Make sure you get your tickets. There's all sorts of different packages you could purchase. Beer festival, party in the chandelier room, Fiesta de Santa Anita in the infield, family fun zone, all sorts of different stuff on a huge Big Cap Saturday. But that is next week. Fellas, we've got some money to be made this week. Let's take a look at the late pick five sequence. For those of you who want to join in with us, you can get your daily racing form past performances out and flip to race number 5. And I thought, Frank, this one it's a tricky race because you have 4 horses that are actually first-time geldings in this race, getting the ultimate equipment change. And a lot of times you can see big form reversals when horses get that equipment change. So I thought that's interesting where you see so many of that. So many of them in that instance. And I thought a pretty competitive race where, I mean, you can go through a lot of these horses. I wouldn't completely dismiss Little Raymond. Otto's Magic, you could make a case for. Big Bill, certainly. Seen by Me did not run poorly. Curlin Command, if you just toss the turf race, the sprints are all very good. You look at Beer Buzz, those races on the dirt are not bad. Just to Graze was only beat a neck last time out. You can go through this field, and it's tough to just completely eliminate horses in this race. Let's start with you over there, Sure Shot. How do you want to approach the first leg of this late pick 5 sequence?
Yeah, very, very competitive race to start. But I will pick out a name that you mentioned on that laundry list of horses to consider because my wise guy pick in the race is number 8, Beer Buzz. I do my racing form, old school handicapping, but I also use Optics EQ to supplement my opinions. And
shout out to Emily.
Huh?
Shout out to Emily. She does a great job over there.
So she does great trip notes for Santa Anita. And she twice when this horse ran, she made turf. Turf. Get this horse on turf. So here the horse shows up on turf. 2 big dirt sprints to run back to. The question is the lawn, but I see that Optic Notes that says green turf. 12-1 on the morning line. I'm absolutely going to take a shot. The horse has so much early speed. There's a little bit of speed, but not that much for a turf sprint. And then, like I said, the Optic Note suggests a move to the turf. So that's my fuzzy one that I'm absolutely going to use. And then my 2 logical ones, I'm kind of surprised the morning lines are actually as high as they are. Number 5, Big Bill. I know the horse is 0 for 7. Not typically the kind of horse I would bet. But 3rd start of the form cycle. Mark Latt's been going really, really well. The horse always fires. Stuck at the rail last time. Now gets off the rail, has a little bit more options. Should sit a perfect trip. And then the other Mark Latt horse that you also mentioned, number 4, Seen by Me, hasn't been seen since June 2025. But if there's one trainer I trust to bring a horse back ready to fire in a sprint race, it's Mark Latt. Now, the horse might need one, but comes back a gelding. And if the horse doesn't win today, I will absolutely bet the horse last time. But I think at 9-2 after that, that was a really good debut race. I'm willing to take a shot. But to your point, Gino, you could probably make a case for 3 or 4 other ones in here as well.
Very tough race, and they don't make it easy on us, Skip, either, because this is one of the coast-to-coast pick 5 races, too. So if you're someone who likes to play that sequence, there's actually 4 graded stakes races in the coast-to-coast pick 5 this weekend, 3 from Gulfstream, and then the 7th race at Santa Anita. So you have some real quality races. This is the one that isn't a stakes, Skip, but it's not easy at all. It might be as tough as any of those races. Who are some of the horses on your radar here?
Yeah, this race, the way to start this off is very tough. The one had a really good replay, I thought. Crossing the dirt, this horse had to take up a little bit. Finished strong, lost by a head. That was off a break. The one's definitely going to be on my ticket. The 2 got speed for D'Amato. 2's going to be on my ticket. Big Bill definitely going to be on my ticket. I'm going to spread in this race because I'm going to go a little bit lighter later. But this race I thought was very, very tough.
Yep.
You know, Seen by Me, first time gelding. That horse has been working good. I like the work on the 6, and I like the work on the 21st. And then the 5, Curlin's Command, first time gelding. Giroux rides that. Got to put the 5 on the ticket. The one that nobody mentioned yet was the 7. He's a Gangster. First time gelding, first time Peter Urton. This is a price horse that I'm going to use. So I'm going to spread in this race. I'm going to basically go everybody but maybe the 6, 9, and 10. Everybody else is on the ticket. I'm spreading.
Yeah, common denominator here from everybody. It's a difficult race to really key in on. We're all going to be using at least a couple. Big Bill is the horse who I kind of leaned on as the top. And if you just look at the 3 sprint races for Big Bill, they're just by far the best races. I think he's obviously a horse who just is better right now, going shorter, has a little more punch late. That effort was very good. He was a step slow. He pushed up the rail to third. He wasn't even too off. And then he gets stuck in a bad spot at the top of the lane. He's kind of looking for space. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He goes in between, then into a tight spot. So I thought he ran really well there, Big Bill. So I'm going to be at least like the inside part of this field, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, if I am going a little deeper, both horses that we mentioned are like the 5 and the 8, super logical, but difficult way to start your late pick 5 sequence, 50-cent based wager. So you can spread around a little bit, but not an easy 5th race, challenging one. We move to race number 6. Let's start here with you, Skip, on this one. We've got 10,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 lifetime. They're going 5.5 furlongs on the dirt in here. And it's just a race where you don't have a lot of horses that are in like trustworthy form right now, right? That's probably a good way of describing them, because you have a horse like Binging who's taken a pretty big drop in class, but sprinting on the dirt, coming off of the recent form, I don't really know if you can trust that horse, but he certainly could win the race, right? You look towards the outside, maybe horses like the 5, 6, and 7 can be forward in here. But again, do you really trust anyone too much in this spot? How do you want to start things out, Skip?
It's a tough. I think the 2 Binging dropping down to the lowest level, I think this is a perfect spot for this horse. I did like the work on the 2nd and the 9th. I know it was on the Tapeta, but I think the 2's going to get a great trip. Binging's definitely going to be on my ticket. And I'm going to add only one more. I'm going to put the 5, Y'all Come. This horse drops down to a lowest level at 1 for 12.5 at Low Sal. Now it goes turf to dirt, route to sprint. That's always a move that I like. I know it's 0 for 4 at Santa Anita, but with this lower level, I mean, it raced for 10 a while back too at Santa Anita and Del Mar. I'm just going to go 2 and 5 here and hope I can get out of this race. I like those 2 the best. Binging's my favorite, though. That's the one I like the most.
Skip, I'll use your 2 and see you one more. Raise you actually the Billy Joe Shaver, the 7. I'm going to be 2, 5, and 7. I think the 2 is super logical. That's the horse that could come running. Probably the horse they'll all have to beat. The ones that I think just when I look at races like this, it's almost like who has been defeated the least, right? Who kind of has the least bad races on the page. And a lot of times I go to the more lightly raced horses in here. Billy Joe Shaver, who is raced 10 times. And overall, you can eliminate a couple races. Like I think he was just in way too tough last time out in that race, going 6.5 on the turf. Just 2 starts back against 25 non-winners of 3. That race wasn't bad on the grass. 3 starts back, he's beating Spiritualist in a kind of similar race to this, like a 16 non-winners of 2. I think this is the right level for Billy Joe. I think he has speed, but he can also sit. I like the blinkers coming on because that, to me, signals that they want him to be forward and they want him to be in the mix early somewhere. I like the way he's drawn out there too. So 2, 5, 7 for me. Anything different for you in here, Frank?
You stole my thunder, Gino. I'm all about Billy Joe Shaver, man.
Nice.
I like. First of all, hats off to Cesar de Alba. He was a terrific jockey. Long time ago. I'm showing my age. See that gray hair there? He doesn't have a lot of horses, but he knows what to do with his horses.
Right.
Look, this is textbook, right? 2 turf races off the bench, total conditioning races. And to your point, Gino, you're right. That one off the bench, that 25,000 non-winners of 3, where he was protected, that is a very, very good race. Player B, the old 9, belly up, very good claiming horses, comes back, forget that last race against Calbred, entry-level allowance horses, 8-1, Probably should have been 80-1. He had no business in that race. This is the right spot for him. He has really sharp early speed. Adds the blinkers. Third, this is old school. Third start of the form cycle. He's beaten 48 lengths with Berrios. Comes back with Rojas Ordona. Juice the price.
Yeah.
Berrios rides back. The horse is 2-1.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think there's a little pool playing going on here. But that being said, I always say this. When I have a strong opinion in a conditional claimer, N2L, N3L, go the other way. Bet everybody else but the horse I love. But really, I mean, you can land many places in this race. And I would say I give a little bit of a push to Spiritist. That horse is capable of running a big race every now and again. Grinder, old pro. Rolando Canona is a very sneaky KG trainer. Playing the horse for 10 at this level, right? 70-1, never really had a shot. Drew the rail after that, and then drew the 9-hole after that. X those races out. That last race is actually pretty good. Grinding away at 4.5. Probably more for underneath. I'm going to live and die with Billy Joe Shaver, famous last words.
Love it. Billy Joe. I'm on Billy Joe. I'll be 2, 5, and 7. Skip mentioned the 2 and 5. Anything else you want to add here, Skip?
Yeah, you guys talked me into Billy Joe Shaver. So I'm definitely at the 7 on my ticket for all the reasons you said, So yeah, I'm going to add the 7.
That's why we do these shows, to help everyone, but to also help each other. Sometimes when you're talking it out, because this is how, for a lot of people, you are sitting there with your buddies, your friends, when you're talking about racing and you're putting your tickets together, right? You're going back and forth. You talk to horses you like. You know what? I'm going to add that one in. Now that one, okay, they're going to add that one in. And a lot of times they end up helping you, or maybe costing you $20 or $40 here and there. But you know what? If they help you once or twice, that's all that matters when it's said and done.
That's a great point. I was stubborn. I loved everything you said about Essential Lady last week. And I did all my take. I just liked other horses better.
Yep.
Would it have killed me to throw in your horse at 30-1? Would it have killed me? No, I mean, of course not. You made a great case. We had all the winners going up to that. I could have at least had a double alive to Essential Lady. Didn't have to have the pick 5. Totally whiffed. 31-1, the best pick of the show last week. And I'm just glad that you cashed and the listeners cashed. I'll wear the dunce cap this week. But see, Skip, you're smart. You're like, I'm going to use the one that I didn't consider.
And especially in a race where you don't have the strongest opinion.
Yeah,
it was a lower kind of claiming race, like you said before. And Chappie knows about the dunce cap there. It's a little shiny.
I'm wearing the dunce cap. I'm not even talking. So, yeah.
Well, we will turn the page to the Grade 2 Buena Vista. That's going to be our next race. As we do, I remind you that these last 3 races are part of the Sunset 6, which is another one of those awesome wagers from First Racing. 15% takeout, dollar base minimum, no CAW wagering. A lot of times they give you free daily racing form PPs if you're following along on social media. So you got everything you need for them there. And the Sunset 6 will always be the last 3 at Gulfstream, last 3 at Santa Anita. Tomorrow, that's the floor. That's the Fountain of Youth. And that's big stakes races that are on that awesome Gulfstream Park card. Chappie, you want to chime in?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Got you.
Okay, real quick. Just for this race, I was down today in the paddock and a horse was schooling and I was like, wow, that horse looks good. I said, who is that? And it was Watchtower. So just throwing that out there where you can still hear me. Somebody stands out once in a while. Horse looked amazing schooling. I'll go back to my dunce cap in the background.
Chappie actually earned the
Go back to the corner with your dunce cap.
He's actually earning the money today because he's just been sitting it out recently, but we got him on site to get some reporting done for the show. So, hey, at least he's coming with some info. Well done.
Boots on the ground, man. That's
Here
good,
we go.
Good inside info.
You earned it there, sir. Yeah. Awesome stuff today. So, Grade 2 Buena Vista coming up. And in this one, you have 3 horses coming back from the megahertz that we just saw against each other a few weeks ago. Princessa Moche and Vibes ran very, very well there. They were a close 1-2 in that megahertz. And the horse who was behind them had a little bit of trouble that day was My Perfect Wave. All 3 of them are going to come back in here. But you add, in addition to those 3 horses, Thought Process, really nice filly who was one of the top 3-year-olds in the division as far as 3-year-old fillies on the turf. Last year, she was a multiple graded stakes winner. She was 3rd in the Del Mar Oaks, but she will be stepping up and facing older horses in here for the first time. So always got to mention that. And then right next door, you have an awesome Calbred, Grand Slam Smile, who's a 10-time winner. She's done just about everything you can do at the Calbred level now. So this is the next logical test for a horse like this who loves to win. Can you step up and face open company and tougher horses? She's going to try to do that. So I love the way this race kind of sets up on paper, where you have a couple of the solid horses in the division that have been running well. And then you have some real wild cards like the younger Thought Process stepping up and facing older, Grand Slam Smile, the Calbred facing open company. And then a horse that Chappie just mentioned, Watchtower, is the one that I thought might get kind of lost in the shuffle. And this horse could get a really nice trip if they all go quick early on here. Let's get over to you, Frank, to start out the Buena Vista. How do you want to play out this ticket?
This is such a cool race. So many, short field, but all quality, all class.
Yep. Good storylines, right?
Unbelievable. I'm doing something a little crazy. In my matrix column for the Santa Anita website, when I do the $3 all turf pick 3 and the $3 late pick 3, I'm going out on a limb and I'm zagging when people zig. I am going to single on my main ticket. I will have a backup ticket, but I am going to single number 6, My Perfect Wave.
I love this.
Because I see a scenario where Thought Process, she's coming off a long life. She's awesome. Facing all the horses, draw the rep. She's going to be on the engine, right? I mean, she's got to go. She's going to be keen to run. Grand Slam Smile, one of my favorite horses in training. This Calbred is less than $200,000 away from being a millionaire. She is awesome. She deserves a shot at a graded stakes against open company. But then you also have number 4, Princess Mosh, who until that last race that she won, I called her the Rodney Dangerfield of this division. 17-1 wins, 19-1. Nobody gave her any respect at all. Yep. And she's just an honest horse. Something's got to give. They all like to be forwardly placed. Maybe they'll slow it down and be tactical, or maybe they'll throw down the gauntlet. I don't know. But I think that number 6, My Perfect Wave, has a lot of upside. She's a lightly raced 4-year-old. We talked about this before, Gino. When I use Formulator, I like to personalize my Formulator and do the incremental splits for individual horses.
Yep.
And in turf races, I like to look at the come home time. This horse's come home times are stakes quality. Draw a line through that last race. She was stuck inside. She lacked room when the real running started. There was no pace to close into, yet she still finished up in real racehorse time. Her race before that, even though she only won by a neck, she flew home 23-2. That is fast. I am willing to give her a shot, because if I don't single her, I'm going to use 5 or 6 horses. Thought Process might need one. Grand Slam Smiles facing open company. Princess Notion never gets any respect. And then you got Vibes, honest hard knocker, who's there all the time. So those are going to be all my B horses. But I am going to try and hit one out of the park here with My Perfect Wave.
I love this. I actually, the 6 was my top pick in here. And what's kind of scary is a lot of the analysis that you had was very, very similar to mine. And just
Get out of my head, Gino.
I know. And then, you know what? If we were sitting next to each other, you could say I was cheating off your test, but we're so far away that I couldn't get there virtually. But there are definitely versions of this race where the 1 is fresh, holds that inside spot, goes. The 2's got to go to be in this race, right? Her advantage in this race is going to be to get out front of some of these horses that are more of the milers or more of the turf route horses. The 4, Princess Moche, she's got to be close. She wants to be forward. That's been so good for her recently. I think there are absolutely versions where those 3 horses are all keeping each other honest. And then it opens it up for the closers. And you look at those closers, you look at Watchtower, you look at My Perfect Wave, you look at Vibes. Well, My Perfect Wave was in that same race with Vibes and had a tough trip. Yep. I'm not going to say My Perfect Wave was going to win that race, but never got a chance to run, because when she was looming up, she got completely completely blocked. Going into that race, I thought her speed figures were a little bit light. I think she's a little better than her speed figures might suggest. I even think that last race, the megahertz, might be a little better. If you look, Princessa Moche has thrown up like higher races prior to that too. So I think she's a real fun horse to use, at least in like a late pick 4, a late pick 5, like we have. This is also the start of a late pick 3. Somewhere, try to get the 6 in there at a very fair price. I think those closers are super live in here, and there are a couple intriguing ones. Skip, let's hand the baton over to you. How do you want to put together this 7th race for your ticket?
You know, I'm going to go 3 deep. I'm going to go the 1 Thought Process coming off the break. I really like the way this horse is training. I know she's facing older for the first time, but coming out of the grade 1 Del Mar Oak, she's 2 for 2 at Santa Anita. She's won 5 out of 8. She's really good, looks good in the morning. 1's going to be on my ticket, Watchtower, because of the pace. And I think there's going to be a quick pace, like you guys just said. Yeah. Watchtower is going to be on my ticket. And my Perfect Wave, I saw the same thing that you guys saw with that replay. I like that replay too. I don't, I'm not going to single like Frank Scattoni, but I'm definitely going to be using. I'm going 1, 3, 6 in here, and hopefully we could get out with the 6.
I do have a B ticket with everybody else.
Yeah, and it's a competitive race, but from a gambling perspective, when you like a horse, that's how you're supposed to approach a competitive race, because you get the advantage. You talked about the zig versus the zag. If a lot of other people are going to go 3, 4, and 5 deep, and you're saying, you know what, I'm going to take a stand on one of these tickets with the horse who's going to be double-digit odds. I think 10, 12, probably to 1, bet a little bit down from that, but still double-digit odds for sure, and a massive price. So the great approach from Frank. Skip and I also think this is a live long shot to include in some of your exotics. So maybe if the horse wasn't on your radar, take a second look at My Perfect Wave in a very competitive and fun renewal of the grade 2 Buena Vista. That's going to go as race number 7 Saturday, Santa Anita. Let's flip the page to race number 8. We've got $25,000 claimers in here. Before we get to this one, I do also want to mention, if you are someone who watches these shows and you've never played in tournaments or any of the horse racing contests, you should really check them out over at ExpressBet. There are a great list and a schedule of events every single day. On a day like tomorrow, there's a huge tournament, the Fountain of Youth game at Gulfstream Park, where you could win BCBC tickets. There's tournaments coming up where you could win spots in the NHC, that National Handicapping Championship, which is a couple weeks away. So if you've never played in a tournament and you want to find out a little more, go to ExpressBet, take a second look. It's just a great way to test your skills. If you're someone who loves to play the races, really check those out. All levels, you can play for like $40 and try to qualify, or you can play in bigger tournaments and see if you can win huge money. So ExpressBet tournaments. Let's get over to you, Skippy, for this $25,000 claimer. 6 furlongs on the dirt in here. Who do you want to start with? How deep are you looking to go in this one?
I'm going to single in here. I really like a horse in here, and that's 8, Dakota Shadow. I love outside speed. I love the way that she broke her maiden at Santa Anita. They dropped her from 50 down to 20. I love the way that she won that day. She was pinned on the inside, and she just drew off, turning for home, and just drew off in the stretch. I love that win. I don't know if it was the class drop, the first time Lasix, what it was, but I love the way that she won. Nobody's hotter than Jeff Mullins right now. I always like outside speed. I don't think this horse needs a lead to win in case a couple inside go. I think she could sit, and I really like her. So I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to single the 8, Dakota Shadow. It's come back to work. What is it? 3 times after that. It kind of looks like maybe the last workout was the 9th through the 20, then not again till the 22nd. I don't know if it missed a work that time or they just gave it a little more time because of the weather. And I think it was because of the weather, because I know we got a lot of rain during that time. So it doesn't bother me. I just love the outside. I'm going to take a shot and single Dakota Shadow here.
She's, to me, a must-use in here, Skip, for so many of the reasons that you said. And I think if you just look at her 2 races, that debut, it's so easy to put a line through. She was bumping around before the race started. She was not taking to the surroundings, right? And then come right out of the gate. She didn't even get out of the gate, really. Right. And then, boom, it was over. Second start, totally different for her. She broke really well. And it was a big field too. It was a field of 12. She gets the lead, and then she went on with it. She had a half length advantage. She got pressed by a horse named Twisted Humor. And why I think that's important is because if you look over to Tammy Baby, who I also think is a contender in here, Tammy Baby just faced this very same horse, Twisted Humor. And when you watch the two of them, right, it's not always this way, and you can't always look at it this simply, but just against that same common rival, I mean, Dakota's Shadow just put Twisted Humor away and drew off, versus Tammy's Baby really had to kind of work to just get by Twisted Humor. So if I'm kind of comparing the two of them, especially if we might get a little bit better of a price on the horse to the outside, and as you pointed out, Skip, you also get the draw, which is nice, right? The outside draw where you don't have to maybe get kind of caught up in a battle. Maybe you can sit off a little bit if some of those horses inside go. I do respect the 4 Tammy Baby. I also think she's one of the contenders in here. The interesting price horse that I might include is Crunchy, who, oh, there we go again. Same page.
You're in my head, man.
There we go. I'm in your head now. So I like the debut from Crunchy. That was sprinting on the dirt. She showed us in that race she can sit, she can pass horses, and she doesn't have to be that far out of it. And then she's in tough in her next 2 races. She faces like Calbred Stakes Company, some of the highest level for her divisions, and she has a race and then a little time off and then a race, and they try to go long on the turf. Now she gets to go back to what we know she can do well, back to a super logical kind of starting over spot for her, right, Frank? And like anything you want to add on her, and then talk to us about some others that you might want to use.
No, 5 Crunchy is my absolute wise guy horse in here. I love the move to Maldonado. He'll be aggressive. Hansen is so good with the cutback move, route to sprint, dropping in class. I mean, I don't know who talked who into running in those Calbred Stakes races after a Calbred 50 maiden win, but obviously the horse didn't belong there, so just pretend those races never even existed. That's the absolute wise guy horse. I'm also with you, Skip. I think Dakota's Shadow has a huge shot. I thought that last race was superb. And the fact that this horse has speed, but to your point, I don't think needs the lead either, and is drawn outside, should get the absolute perfect trip. And also, I mentioned this on my show today, Double Trouble Live. Look at Mullins' stats when it comes to one last start. 55. It happened today, so let's make it 56. Large sample size.
Yep.
42% with a positive ROI. When they get good, they stay good for Mullins. Like, that is significant to me.
And he knows where to place them, right? Like that horse just won by 7 lengths sometimes and earned a pretty good speed figure for that level. So that sometimes you can get a little ambitious maybe or want to go higher, but he's putting this horse in a logical spot where she like comes right back and she's going to be a major player again, right?
Right.
That's
worth
why
25. He knows exactly where she belongs, which is awesome. And then I think the other Mullins, I don't like the 8-5 morning line, but I feel like the horse probably, Darling Sugary, should have won last time, was off slow, was trying hard all the way to the wire, was bet off the board, and came up a little short at 5.5. Now gets 6 furlongs. Don't love the rail, but I think she can just kind of suck back and then grind her way to the finish line. She lost to the 6th horse, Little Tinker L, who ran a monster race. I didn't get the memo that day.
No, me neither.
She was 17-1. There was so much speed in that race. I thought they were all going to get cooked. She popped the gate. She made the lead. She set fast fractions, and she never stopped. So I think last time was the time to have her. I might get egg on my face because she's won 4 out of her last 5, but I think Darling Sugary turns the tables on her this time. But the price plays in here are, Skip's outside horse and your Crunchy, Gino.
Yeah, and Darling Sugary complements the Mullins runners really well, right? Because if Dakota's Shadow goes and it gets kind of caught up in that early battle, then you've got the other one, Darling Sugary, to sit back and to make that one late run. So if they do go really fast, that's probably one of the horses who could really take advantage there. And I kind of agreed about Little Tinker L. Like, I just want to make her prove it again one more time. In another race on paper that looks like there's a lot of early speed, I want to make her earn it in here again. So 8th race of 9, 25 claimers. Anything else we want to add in here, fellas, before we turn the page? Skip, you're singling right on the outside.
Yeah, I'm good singling the outside. And sorry, I got the guy that's blowing all the tickets around here. I'm still at the track. So
there you go. You got
that.
Yeah, no, you got the great background there over at Santa Anita. So as we get ready to finish up, I always want to remind people about this awesome free contest that Santa Anita puts on every Saturday and Sunday. If you are a sports betting fan, if you are someone who plays fantasy sports, or if you just like to kick back and watch some of the basketball games on the weekends, play into this contest. Pick'em.santanita.com. It's totally free every Saturday, Sunday, and every Saturday, Sunday they give $500 to the winner. 12 questions. Some of them are super simple, like just asking you the betting line of a college basketball game. Other times they'll ask which of these teams is going to make the most 3-pointers, and there'll be like a group of 5 NBA teams. And then other times it's just who's going to win race 3 at Santa Anita. If you like that kind of stuff, fantasy sports, betting on sports, this is right up your alley. Pick'em.santanita.com, totally free to enter. Chappie does a great job with these Pick'em contests each and every Saturday, Sunday. So let's close this thing out. Frank, we've got Chappie chiming in. Chappie, king of the Pick'em over there.
I'm getting paid by the hour, not the word again. Thanks.
Again, yeah. We don't have an easy way to close this thing out, Frank, with this Mile Turf 3-year-old fillies. I mean, again, I think you can make cases for a lot of different horses. Just looking at the morning line, how deep do you need to be in this leg to feel pretty comfortable closing it out?
I mean, I do agree with you that it is a pretty competitive race. But I fell in love with the 6 horse, Ballerina. I doubt we'll get 8-1.
Agreed.
18-1 for Michael McCarthy, debut run, educational. He doesn't have them fully cranked. Horse goes from 10th place to 6th place. Finished up really, really well in that sprint. Now gets 2 turns, stretching out, which I think this horse wants every bit of that. I love that horse. Strong, play for me. I have the horse as a single on some of my tickets, but if I'm using one other, and I probably will if I'm tight early, that would be number 4, Narita. What I like about this horse is that, DeMoro ends up here, and he rides a lot for Mandela, and he rode that Mandela horse twice.
Yep.
And he's like, this is the horse I want to ride here.
This horse was entered to the other day with a bad post, and they scratched for this spot. I think
okay, that's even better. Yes, okay.
Give a better opportunity, because I think it was drawn like number 12 in a race the other day, and now instead gets to come here in just a much better spot in the body of the field.
Actually, that might have been in that Pick 5 show that we did, because I remember you mentioning Toulouse.
Yep, exactly.
Your French was perfect.
Yeah.
61-1, ran 3rd in a 14-horse field. Obviously has some ability. Powell does very well with these imports. Might need one. He's a little bit on the patient side, but as competitive as this field is, I don't think there's world beaters in here. You know what I mean?
Completely agree. Nobody scares you. There's no monsters.
Correct.
But you can sort of make cases for and against a lot of the horses. The two that you started with, both of them are going to be on the ticket for me. Like, I absolutely need them both in this closing leg. I completely agreed with what you said about Ballerina. You look more into the pedigree. Dam was a 3-time winner on the turf, was multiple graded stakes placed, half to a multiple graded stakes winner named Always Shopping, half to another stakes winner named Mo Shopping. There's some pedigree and some class here with the 6, the 4, from what you mentioned. Great connections play, and a really good effort from this horse, finishing 3rd in a field of 14 at Toulouse, because it's just so fun to say. Got to say it one more time if we can. Skip, I know we get caught on horses that we like. I'm probably going to give the 8 one more shot, because I played the 8 last time, and I just thought she just got away a little slow. She had some trouble down on the inside. I think stretching out, she could be a little closer. So 4, 6, 8 will be the horses who I'm the most interested in here. How about for you?
Buddy, I'm sorry. I'm trying to I can't hear a word with that damn
We're
blower
following
going.
you. It's like a maze. We're walking through. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's
no problem.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the 2. I think the two is a real good looking filly for Mandela. I bet it last time. It didn't run a step. I think this horse wants to go 2 turns. Jaramillo, he won 4 races today. He's on fire. I'm going to put the 2 on the ticket. I'm going to use the first time in the country from France, the 4, Neridia for Leonard Powell. This horse has worked well, doing good, looks good in the mornings. I'm going to use the 6 Baylor Arena for Michael McCarthy. For all the reasons Frank said, that was a good replay. Giroux gets aboard, bred to go 2 turns. They paid a lot of money for her. She's good. I'm going to put the 8 Soul Sister for Karen Headley. I like this horse stretching back out. Last time it had a little trouble on the turn. This horse wants to go 2 turns. It's bred to get the distance. And then the first time starter, the 9 for Jonathan Thomas. We know how good he does. He wins everything on the grass, it seems like. I'm going to put the 9 on the ticket. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 to finish things off.
Chappie?
Can you hear me okay?
I feel like I'm the teacher when you raise your hand. I'm calling on you, Chappie. You're up.
I don't. Okay, so just real quick, I happened to be down there when the 1 ran the last time, and it says fractious in the tunnel. Now the horse actually threw Hector Barrios coming out before the race, so completely tossed that race. I was standing right there. So
good info.
My 2 observations today. You know, I'm a man of few words, but at least it's something good.
But they count.
I was going to say he's going to get a raise now for what he did today. He's going to be. And both of those 2 horses that we were just talking about, the 1 Novita Dominga, the dam was a 4-time winner on the turf all long. So pedigree-wise, all long on the grass. Skip the horse that you mentioned to the outside, Shahar. The trainer, obviously, Jonathan Thomas, very good long on the turf. Half to a grade 2 winner, Varinka, who was a 3-time turf winner, all long on the turf. So both of those horses have the pedigree, some class, and the ability to go long on the grass. So we are finished up with this Pick 5 preview for Saturday. Before we get out of here, let's hand the baton over to Scatoni Sure Shot, because you've got so many things going on and we want to get some plugs for you. So where can we find more of your work, and when's the next time you're going to be hanging out with one of the live streams?
I always write about the $3 all-turf pick 3 and the $3 late pick 3 for the Santa Anita website. If you go to the expert page, find me, click on the date, you'll get my horse-by-horse analysis. I also host a show called Double Trouble Live, where me and my buddy Kieran Thornton go live during the races for those low takeout sequences and actually play them in real time. We gamble. We like to gamble a little bit. And we have a nice crew. We call it the DTL crew who joins us. We share opinions. We look for market signals. We focus on ticket construction. It's just the fact that we have that opportunity as horse players to get into a low takeout 15% pool with a higher minimum, which values handicapping and ticket construction, feels good to be a horse player again. I love it.
The $3 pick 3 today, that was Proofy Rides. I think it went off at 3-1. The Baffert favorite singled, and then the favorite in the end paid $100. Just for the higher minimum. Like if that's $1, that's $12.
Yeah, or
that's like $16, something in that range.
Del Mar,
right?
I think the minimum is 50 cents, so that's like nothing.
So it just shows you that it's still a little tougher because someone's going to chuck one of those races out. You're going to play it a little bit differently. So Skip, he joins us again, but I was going to give you a chance to plug the radio show in the morning tomorrow, where you'll be sitting right next to Chappie.
I can't hear a word. Chappie, you go ahead. I'm
Chappie,
out.
What's up tomorrow morning if you can make it through this?
Morning Light Sports Show, AM 830, am830.net from 8 to 9 a.m. or TML AM 830 on Instagram Live, Facebook Live. This show's had a little bit of everything.
It has.
Skip's moved to 7 different suites in one show. This is great.
Yeah. And we've got some good live tidbits chipping in from Chappie too. Hopefully Sure Shot's going to give you a big stingle at a massive price, and we'll see if we can get you some winners. Don't forget, next week is a big one, Big Cap Week. So we'll be back here Friday night to preview an awesome Big Cap day for Saturday. And if there's another carryover this week, who knows? We may be back again on Thursday to preview a Friday carryover. So for Chappie, for Skippy, for Sure Shot Scatoni, I'm Gino. We wish you all the best of luck tomorrow in your wagers.